Sean, thanks for joining me this afternoon. I'm kind of spiraling within your galaxies at the moment.
Cheers.
Obviously, I do know a little bit about what you do, but for the record, can you tell us who you are and how you're involved in the creative arts in Teesside?
Yeah, I'm Sean Barnes, and last year I started glass blowing. Well, more specifically, lamp worked glass blowing with massive blowtorch like this. You see?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, runs off oxygen and propane, and takes it up to the temperatures I need to get the glass flowing, which is around 900 degrees Celsius. Once it's flowing, you can manipulate it in whichever way you want, or add little bits of silver and gold or coloured glass, and pretty much halfway there to a pendant, really. I haven't really had that much experience with it myself, being at it for the year and being locked in for the year. So could be a bit better, but it's getting there. Hopefully lockdown eases off and I'll be able to get out and see some of the other glass blowers I've met so far and get the skills going more.
So how did it come about? Did you just encounter one of these machines? How did you get started? And also, can you tell us what borosilicate is? Because I'd never heard of it until I found out about your work.
Right. Oh, well, borosilicate is basically just a stronger version of glass. It's basically Pyrex is what everyone would know it as. So it can take the stresses of heat a lot better. So it's a lot easier to work with than normal glass, shall we say. But yeah, any thin glass you'll stick in the oven will be made from the same stuff that I use for my art. And I got into it last year. I went to a festival down in Oxfordshire and came across a handful of the glass blowers. Just got chatting with them, blown away by the work that they were making. Took notes of all the gear that they were using, asked them a couple of questions about it, where I could get it from, because I had no idea where to buy like this blowtorch from or the machines I use to make my oxygen. And from that point on, it just rolled with it. Got back from the festival, got in touch with Prince's Trust, did their enterprise course, got a business loan after sorting out a business plan, and this is where I'm at now, really.
Brilliant. And have you been able to are you funding yourself? Do you get funding from elsewhere? Are you able to make enough money? Because you obviously sell your pieces online.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got the business loan off the Prince's Trust, which basically got all my equipment I needed. So it's just glass that I need to afford, really, glass and propane, and electricity as well. That use quite a lot of that with the me oxygen machines.
Yeah, see the kit that you've got there seems to work on the same kind of principle as a blast furnace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much.
Which I recently found out from local historian JT that it was in Middlesbrough that blast furnaces were first invented.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the coal in the iron that surrounds Middlesbrough that it's Teesside it's become famous for.
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
Making into steel, and so that the guy persisted for a couple of years and found out that using a blast furnace you could turn it into the kind of steel that they needed. I think that's right. We'll check with JT, but I definitely know that the blast furnace was invented in Middlesbrough because of Middlesbrough.
Oh, very cool. I learn something new every day, don't you?
I know, it's great. It's such a joy doing this project. You know, you really do learn new things.
Everything else.
So yeah, I suppose it would be good to talk a little bit about. Do you have a studio? Do you have somewhere you practice? Do you work from home? And how's all that been affected by lockdown?
Yeah, lockdown's put a lot of my plans on hold. Really, I was looking for somewhere better to do all this work from, but I am at the moment just working from home. Not ideal, but making the most of the space I've got. Yeah. Ideally, I'd want somewhere bigger, just so I'm not as cramped with everything I'm doing. So I've got a bit more space to move around.
Yeah, I guess it gets pretty hairy running a kit like that from your house.
Yeah, it's very hot. We try to only do a couple of hours at a time because it gets way too hot, to be honest. Especially when you're spinning 600, 700 degrees of glass in front of your face, it does tend to burn quite quickly.
Yeah, I can imagine. Have you seen the open call that the Auxiliary have put out at the moment for artists?
No, I haven't. First I've heard.
Okay, well, it's working towards exhibiting at next year's Middlesbrough Art Weekender, which is next September.
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, studio space, your own little working pod, artist fee, expenses, and so it's really going to be what I was part of last year's Art Weekender, and it was fantastic. Really changed my life really.
Yeah.
So the opportunity. And obviously they got the space down there for doing the kind of work that you do.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Like, I'll definitely have a look into that.
Okay, I'll pass it on. So you say you've only taken up like the glass blowing in the last year or so. Before that, were you involved in the arts at all before that? Do you come from like a creative background?
No, not really. Background's more sport based, really. I used to be quite good with me trampolining and gymnastics, but since all that, I was kind of lost without anything to do once I stopped doing all that. Just meandered around for a good 6-7 years or whatever like that until spotting this glass work, and it just ignited a fire. And I thought, like, no, that is what I want to do. It's like when you go around, like say you go to Glass Centre, you have a watch of it all in the hot shop, and you think, oh, that'd be really cool. I'd love to have a go at that. And luckily it was just a festival last year I went to, then came across it all. So it's all luck, really. If I didn't go, I wouldn't have none of this last year.
Yeah, but pretty much my life story. I just bamble about, just seeing where the universe takes me, really. And it's always been incredibly kind to me so far. I think that's partly it. I think if you're just keeping your eyes open and you're open to any opportunity that might come your way, then really you get rewarded, don't you?
Yeah, it's like I've always liked to do something different, like something like no one else does. It's like, as far as I'm aware, I've only came across closest person doing a similar thing is up in Seaham. So as long as I've got the area to myself, it's pretty good to me, I'd say. What I mean?
Absolutely. I think with it being called Borosilicate, I think probably Teesside deserves it, did it?
Yeah. Good to get
so are there any? Yeah, absolutely. Are there any like national networks of glass blowers, organisations that you're involved in? Is there any kind of shared knowledge or platform for exhibition?
It's more just done through social media and stuff. There's no, well, what I'm aware of, there's no actual framework for what I would want to do, but there is for more scientific-based glass blowing. So if you were making more like flasks for your chemistry departments in universities and stuff like that, there is a lot of education for. But more on the artistic side, there's not much. A couple of universities do like glass work, but that is more furnace-based glass and not on the blowtorch. So it's pretty hard to find people who you can learn from, to be honest. Like, I'm only aware of 30, 40 people in the country doing lampwork glass. Finding a couple of more people like every week and all that as I get more involved in it. But yeah, it's basically just be going down people's private studios and just cracking on, really.
Well, maybe that's something we can think about getting together, some kind of like international conference of creative glass blowers happening down somewhere in Borough, maybe down at the Auxiliary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be a good idea. There would have been another festival this year for the glass blowing, but with the corona, it's put everything on hold for everyone. So that's been postponed until God knows when.
Yeah.
No, that would be ideal to get myself back down there. Now I'm more involved in it. Know a lot more about.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll be out again soon. I'd really love to come and see your work in person. I just think it's kind of pretty glorious. And this one particularly, I can't point at it. I really love this. It reminds me of a painting that my mum did when I was young. It was the Crab Nebula, like.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. That one was one of my first actual goals of including the silver in my work.
Right.
And it worked out all right. I'm pretty happy with it.
Lovely. So have you got like online, like social media or Twitter or anything like that if people want to come and check out your work?
I just use Instagram and Facebook. On Instagram, I am Glass Ronin. On Facebook, it's Ronin Glassworks.
Brilliant.
Have a look, see if there's anything you like. Give us a shout if you want anything. I'll probably get you something made up.
Brilliant. Christmas coming. Sounds good to me.
Ideal, yeah. Plenty of stuff to sell. Might be doing a little sale on my Instagram soon, so keep your eyes open. Got
Terrific.
Clear out. You get some more glass bars. It's so expensive.
Yeah. Is there any way of getting any reclaimed glass or anything like that, or is it just it has to be pretty clean and specific for the?
Yeah, it all has to be pretty much new stuff. Borosilicate glass isn't recyclable, unfortunately, because of the additional chemicals they put into it to make it bear the heat better. But a lot of the artists, if they get down to the last little ends of rods, I'll be able to buy them and I'll just stick them on a clear rod and I can use the rest of it. So it's not too bad.
Well, as I say, I love your work, and yeah, let's chat more and maybe get something together when we get out of here.
Oh, definitely. Fingers crossed, lockdown in soon. I can't wait to get myself out and melt in at other places.
Brilliant talking to you, Sean. Hope to see you soon.
No bother, Lisa. Take care.
And you.
Catch you in a bit.